Hey, I think we've got our sound working now. Awesome. You guys, let's get ready to rock and roll. We are just finishing up the last 30 seconds of our tech test. So give us just a little bit of patience as we dive in. We are on YouTube as well as in the Facebook group as well. So I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that our cameras are working. It sounds like our mics are working. For those of you who are watching on Facebook specifically, you will probably see a prompt. Maybe my team can tell me if this is on YouTube as well. You're going to see a prompt that says at the very top of this video, click here to give StreamYard permission to publish your name. So I'm actually in a program called StreamYard. I'm not in the Facebook group, but I'm streaming to you. But I want to make sure that I can see your name here in the side chat as we get going. That way I can talk to you about your specific business, connect the dots a little bit. I mean, that's how we're ready to rock and roll. So click that thing, give that thing permission to share your name with me, and let's go ahead and check in and get ready to get started. It looks like we're ready. Awesome. Okay, team is saying stuff is looking good. Let's rock and roll. Okay, if this does not look familiar to you, you may be in the wrong spot. Oh no, but you might want to stay anyway. Okay, we are here for the next 45 minutes, and I'm really good at ending on time today. I want to be really respectful of your time, and for those of you who need to leave at quarter to whatever time to go to the dentist or pick up a kid from school or go do another appointment, I totally got you. 45 minutes, let's do this. So we're going to be talking about 18 businesses and what is the unusual proven method that we use to double the revenue in every single one. This has been my life's work for the past 2.5 years. So the last 2.5 years of my life's work is what I should say, is trying to figure out what really matters in marketing. Okay. Now, full disclosure right here from the very, very beginning. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad you guys are here. Yay. Welcome, Chelsea. You're on YouTube. That's awesome. Okay. I'm just getting a note from my team. We've got one little glitch here. Okay, we're ready to go. Okay, so full disclosure right here at the very beginning of this is a no pitch event. There is nothing that you can give me money here and that is very, very, very intentional. Right? When you're ready to work with me, we'll know that you're ready to work with me. Okay. So what I want you to do is while you're going through this, if you start to have feelings like, oh my gosh, I'm ready. Like I'm ready for this. This needs to be plugged into my business. And I'm going to show you how, but you're like, gosh, I want some help doing that. You do have the opportunity to book a call with me. This is a 20-minute deep dive. Okay. Full disclosure, deep dive to see how can I help you? How can I help you? That's what this is about. This is what this is all about. Okay. Is how can I best connect with you in order to get your business started on the right foot. Okay. So if you want that, this QR code is right here. You can plug it into my calendar. I have spots open on Monday and Tuesday of next week, and then the rest of them are totally booked. So if you are interested in deep diving even further into the unusual proven method, then let's rock and roll. Okay. That will be given to you as well at the end of the 45 minutes. But in reality, let's talk about your business. Okay. Those of you who are here live, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for being here live. When you see this image, what are the words and feelings that come to mind? What are the words and feelings that come to mind when you see this image? Put it in the comments. I'm dying to hear what you think of when you see this particular, I call it a torture device. Okay. I call it a torture device as a mother of 4 people, of 4 wonderful humans, okay, who also love arcades, okay? What is it about this thing and what kind of emotions come to you when you see this thing, okay? I love this, K-Palooza events. I'm dying. Money sucker. Okay. Somebody else, a Facebook user, it says, woohoo. Like, this is how I feel about it. Okay. Some of the really common feelings about this particular experience is it's a money sucker. Like, I spend $100 to get a $2 toy, right? You agree with a torture device? Okay. We're all kind of on the thing. And one of the things that I despise about this is sometimes you do win. Like, sometimes you do get the thing. Like, my daughter, she won a pair of AirPods in this thing. Okay. And I was like, no, you didn't. She's like, I did. Okay. And so she was one of those lucky few that it felt like the crane was like doing its magic that day. And she won a pair of AirPods. Right. But in my experience in general with this torture device is it's a money sucker and it's super inconsistent. And it's sort of like, if you're lucky, you can make it work. Okay. So based upon those thoughts, a lot of us feel like business is the same way. You are all here in a room with a whole bunch of entrepreneurs because you have a business. Okay. And some of that business, it only lives in your head right now, and you're not quite sure how to implement it or how to make it work. But there's this fear that takes us back that this is what business is about, is like, well, it's kind of luck of the draw if you win the prize, right? It's luck of the draw if you win the prize. I'm here to tell you that used to be the case before technology, and it is no longer the case. So let me introduce myself. For those of you who don't know me, I married the boy down the street. His name is Greg. He is my best friend. I am the mom of 4 kids, aged 3 to 13, and a dog named Dexter. I work 12 to 15 hours a week. This was both before I had a team and after I have a team. Okay, 12 hours a week. I'm a Jesus fan. I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. You may know me as a Mormon. That is my faith. It's been a huge part of my business growth, and my business experience is learning from Jesus a lot. I've built 3 separate businesses using leverage. We're talking about that today, and they've all surpassed 6 figures within a 12-month period. Okay, and I'm no smarter than you, by the way. Okay, really normal human with that's wearing joggers right now. Okay. We've got this. Okay. I've never got into debt for business ever. I take Fridays off. I work 8 hours per week in the summer, and I'm an expert at marketing women. But let's talk about some cooler things. And that person is Oscar the Grouch. Okay. I am now over a decade in my experience in learning about business. And there are a couple of things that make me crazy grouchy, especially in the year 2023, when so much of technology is on our side to build these businesses and impact the world and impact our families. I am sick and tired of 2 things, and I am in a darn spicy mood. So we are just going to dig in to the 2 things that make me absolutely sick and tired and how we're going to resolve them. Okay. The first one is this. I am sick and tired of female freelancers, female entrepreneurs, or female business people who are poor and struggle to make money. Okay. I am sick and tired of it, of businesses that are trying to grow that can't seem to generate revenue. Okay. Are any of you sitting in that boat where you feel like money is hard for me? It is really, really hard for me. It is hard for me to make money. It's been really hard for me to grow my business. It's been hard for me to make sales, those kinds of things. Well, I feel really lucky. I grew up in a home where I had a mom that worked before most moms, especially within my faith, were working. My mom was an author for a company called Deseret Book Company, and she wrote children's books about church history for kids, right? And so I got to witness my mom working in the home while I was at school and while I was at soccer and while I was in band and those kinds of things. I got to see her books published on the shelf, and it had a deep impact on me I was like, she was like alive and well. There was an aliveness about her that I loved and that I respected, and she was fun to be around, and she was pursuing her own things. And we would love it when she would do signings down in Salt Lake on conference weekends, general conference weekends. If you're not a member of my faith, ask me later, but she'd go and do these signings down in Salt Lake, and we would love it because we could go shopping all around the malls down there while she was doing signings, and she would just kind of hand us her credit card. We'd be like, this is the best, right? Okay. I had such great experiences with watching my mom just be alive in her work. It was incredible. And then I became a mom. Okay. This little baby is now 13, almost 14 years old, and one of my dearest friends. And then my desire to be present and to be vibrant and to have aliveness around me got even stronger. I wanted to set a path for my daughter of showing a mom that was pursuing and that was learning and that was growing and that was struggling and that was succeeding and that was reaching and all of those things. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to either start a business or I'm going to figure out yoga or I'm going to do something. And then a real small detail came into my world. And that is my amazing husband brought up the idea that maybe I should go to med school. Well, him, not me, but it's kind of a partnership thing, right? And he says, okay, well, small detail, we're going to go do medical school. And not only medical school, but like a master's and then a residency. And so it really became 9 years in which my dreams should have and could have taken the back burner. And boy, did I live for a year or so in that, I'm just going to watch the Netflix every night and drowned and survive until he finishes. Okay. I've sat there and I just couldn't do it any longer. So I started kind of experimenting. And what I really wanted is I was like, I want this to be more than a side hustle, right? I'd love for it to make more than $100 a month. I'd love for this to grow a little bit. And so a really unexpected thing happened to me. So my husband was finishing medical school. And at that time we had a really decisive moment, very much fork in the road, kind of a why moment for us, in which he was finishing his 4th year. And so he had to pick a specialty. It's kind of a weird thing. You go to medical school and sometimes you can't even become the kind of doctor you want, right? It's weird. It's called the match. Okay. Which is happening tomorrow for everybody around the nation that is in medical school. Okay. So because of this, we were trying to decide. He was like, do I want to be a surgeon? Do I want to do emergency medicine? Do I want to be an anesthesiologist? And we just couldn't decide. And we literally had a deadline and we were like, Heavenly Father, please give us this answer. Like, we don't know what to do. And there were reasons we wanted to do all of them. And there were reasons we felt kind of sheepish about wanting to do some of them because we had desires about, like, well, this one makes more. And then this one is more prestigious. And we're like, oh, is that bad to want something like that? And we just were really, really battling. And maybe you've experienced that with a business where you're like, I kind of want this to blow up. I kind of want this to like take us on trips every year. I kind of want this to do big things. And I'm like, is that okay? Is that okay? So luckily we ran into someone I love, respect, and admire, who I believe to be an apostle, a very, very with it spiritual leader. Okay. His name is Quentin L. Cook. This is in the month of July, which is the month that they get off. And so that's why he's not in like suit and tie and stuff. But I saw him at the Salt Lake airport, and he happens to be a friend of my mother's. Okay. They've worked together on some projects. And so she introduced me to him. And I'm not like hanging out with apostles all the time. This is kind of rare. But I got to see him in the airport, and he had been a lawyer for a hospital system here in Utah. And so he asked me about my husband. He'd been doing this. He says, oh, what's he going to go into? And I was like, yeah, great question. Like, help me here. Because we have to make that decision in the next 7 days. We have to make that decision. And he goes, okay, well, tell me what he's thinking about. And I said, surgery, emergency medicine, and anesthesiology. And I said, he wants to do all of them. Which one should he do? And immediately he said, oh, anesthesiology, hands down. And I was like, oh, sweet. Like, you're an apostle. Like, that's straight from God, right? Like, you are answering my prayer in this moment, right? Like, this is the moment. And what was so fascinating is I started to say, well, we love that. We feel a little bit drawn to it because we know it has a lot of like freedom financially. It has freedom with time and all that kind of stuff. And he stopped me in my tracks and he said, Sarah, so many followers of the Savior misunderstand what it means to be humble and what it means to consecrate their lives to the Lord. And then he told me this, okay? And this is paraphrased a little bit. He says, you cannot give what you do not have. You cannot give what you do not have. And I started to think about my mom. And this is like tender for me. I started to think about growing up with a mom who, yes, she made money for our family, which bought land next to our house and which took us to London for 3 weeks and which bought a car for our family and like provided financial things because we were able to have that. We were also able to give financially as we sponsored families for Christmas and as we did humanitarian work and as we did like coats for little kids at a school and all this kind of stuff around wintertime. Like, and then I started to see, wait, well, she was also so lit up by the amazing work that she was doing. She was able to share that with me, her little kid, that she was alive and well, and she was shucking corn with me, and she was taking me sledding, and she was doing these things because she was fulfilled and she was able to give of what she had because she had it, right? So I kept thinking about, okay, this business thing and this anesthesiology thing. We did choose anesthesiology, by the way. And the reason he said that is because it's one of those specialties in which you don't work like a surgeon does. So all of a sudden you have time to give, okay? You have time to give because you have time on your hands. You have money that you can give because it's a well-paying specialty. Okay. It's a specialty energy wise in which he's able to be really focused with a patient and then have a break and this kind of thing. Anyway, he went into it just saying, look, you cannot give what you do not have. So how can you find these experiences, whether that's a career, whether that's a business, whether that's a service opportunity, where it increases your ability to give of your time, money, energy, and knowledge? And that's what I started to feel was, this is okay. This is actually okay for me to pursue freedom of time, freedom of money, freeing my energy, increasing my knowledge because I can give it and I'm committing to give it. Okay. Is this like hitting anybody? Like, if you ever sat there, like wondering if it's okay for you to grow the dang thing you're trying to grow. Okay. I remember sitting in a room with an influencer that every single person in this room knows. Okay. And I had learned so much from this influencer and 100,000 followers on Instagram. And she had helped me so much in my ability to connect with my kids. So I'm going to be really vague because I don't want to out her. Okay. She's a dear friend of mine. And I remember hearing her speak at this event. And she was like, Sarah, I can't do this anymore if I can't make money. 100,000 followers on Instagram. Okay. Huge name, speaking from massive stages, all this stuff. Sarah, I can't do this anymore if I can't make money. And in fact, I added this slide yesterday, this next one, because I met with another influencer that many of you know. And they said, I can't do this anymore if I can't make money doing it because there's no light at the end of the tunnel, right? There is no light at the end of the tunnel. I can't do this anymore if I know that I can't get out of this. Okay. And so my begging message to you right now as we learn this is, if you are feeling like I can't do this anymore, I'm going to do everything within my power. That's why I'm giving those calls away. They're totally free. Okay. Those calls are totally free. I need you long term. I need this girl long term because she teaches me about the scriptures. I need this girl long term because she teaches me about parenting. I need you long term. So I'm kind of selfish. I'm like, I will give you 20 minutes of my time. Can I keep you here long term? That's what I want. Because here's the reality. The reason that I care about the amount of money that you make is because time is greater than money. Okay. And when I ask some of the questions to some of you via email and Instagram and in this group, and like, what would 2xing your revenue mean for you? Here are some of the responses. I could retire my husband. I could hire a team or my first team member. We could go to Disneyland this year. Okay. I could buy healthier food. That was a huge motivator for me, by the way, early on, was like being able to like have access to healthier things in my life. I could move closer to family, right? Medical debt, paying these things down. And I just thought, yes, all of these things, while they appear to be money related, they are time related. You want your husband to have more time. That's why you want to retire him, right? We want to hire a team because we want more time. We want to travel. So we want time with our family, right? Healthier living because we want more time with our bodies. Is this making sense? Okay. That is why I care so much about doubling your revenue, is because you cannot give of what you do not have: time, energy, money, knowledge. All of those things. That's the goal. So let's dive into the actual training. Okay. Let's rock and roll. Once upon a time, I was finishing a conference and I was in an Uber with a random Uber dude. Like, we were sharing a ride. I didn't know who he was. And I kind of thought maybe he was like smoking something. Okay. Let's be honest, because he just was kind of out there for a minute. And I was like, okay, well, let's share. I'm cheaper ride. This is cool. Okay. And he was asking me what I was doing. He was so nice. And I totally prejudged him. And I totally own that because he changed my life. And that's why he's in this training today, this event. And he was like, oh, this is really cool what you do. He says, what are you working on? And I'm like, I just can't crack the code of like getting good at selling. This was years and years and years ago. I'm like, I can't sell. I'm so bad at like selling and that kind of stuff. And he's like, well, how often are you selling? And I'm like, oh, just, when season. And he's like, oh, you're not selling. Like, how often are you selling? And I'm like, oh, twice a year. And he's like, what? And then he described to me what marketing really is. He said, Sarah, your product will only sell to the amount of people that you show it to. And I was like, dang it. Okay. He's totally right. Thank you, random Uber dude, for being so incredibly honest with me, because he's right. I actually wasn't showing my product to people because I didn't know how. I didn't know how to do it. And so I was determined. I said, okay, I'm going to become a marketer. I'm going to figure this out because I've got a product. It's working for people, but like, I've got to get bodies in the room. I've got to figure out how to like gather people and attract people and do it in a way that feels good, right? Like, there's no way around it. Everybody in this room, okay, can we be reminded that we all need to be marketers? Okay, your product can be the best one in the world. And if nobody sees it, you're toast. You're absolutely toast, right? Okay, so where are you at? And I asked this in the Facebook group, but if you're here live, please tell me, because I'm going to be referencing each of your groups. You are either in the just starting phase where you're like, look, I'm not even a marketer. Like, I've got an idea, I've got a website, I've got a Shopify, I've got an Instagram account, I've got a product, like these kinds of things, but like, I don't identify as a marketer. Okay. Then there's another group of you who are like, hey, like, I've tried some marketing stuff. Like, I've learned some storytelling, or I've learned some email marketing or whatever, and I'm growing, but like, it's just not doing what I want it to do. Okay. You're in one of those groups. So if you are number one, just put 1 in the comments. If you are 2, then put number 2. Okay. Some of you feel like you're in between. You're like, I want to be a marketer, but like, I don't know if I identify as that. Well, we'll get Oscar the Grouch in here and we're going to set it all straight. Okay. And so we are now determined, everybody here in this room, we are all determined that we are going to become a marketer. Okay. Because I was not a marketer, but I was like, I want the time, I want the money, I want the energy, and I want the knowledge. Okay. So I asked the most like obvious question. I was like, what is marketing? What is marketing? Okay. The Uber dude told me it's like showing my product to people, which is kind of true, but like, how do I actually do it? Because when I would hear the word marketing back then, this is what came up to me. Like, this is what I thought of, was like flashing lights and like neon colors and like outline, blah, blah, blah. And like click, 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 flashing kind of thing. And I was like, I don't want to be a marketer. Like, if this is what marketing is, I don't know what to do it. So this is not what we're teaching today, by the way. Okay. So I went back and I thought, okay, well, how did I figure out other things in my life? So I was a drum major at BYU, the person who conducted the band. Okay, I'm totally a band nerd, band nerds unite. And I was in a situation where I was like, how do I figure this thing out? Like, I I am in a program that is 5 years long, but they make us do it in 4 years, which means I'm doing a year's worth of work, like as fast as possible, smushed in the middle. Like I got 1 credit for clarinet, right, which was my instrument, and I had to practice 2 to 3 hours a day, 6 days a week, like for 1 credit. So it was like, how am I going to do this? Okay. Well, how I did it is I figured out how to leverage certain areas of my life in order to manage my time, right? I figured that out. Then in my early stages of business, I was like, okay, well, I want to speed up results. How do I speed up results? Well, I thought that meant like going to KSL and like being on TV and doing commercials and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, that should leverage it, right? Like I'm looking for leverage, because my guess is if you're here in the room, you are not someone who is willing to give the 80-hour work week, okay? Because you're a female. I don't think we have any dudes in the room. Bless you, dudes, if you're here, okay? But you're a female and you're like, I'm not going to spend the 80-hour work week. And I've refused to do that from the very beginning too. So like, welcome to the party. So how can we leverage the time we do have to still 2x? Okay. When I went into those 18 businesses, none of them worked more. None of them hustled more. None of them actually spent more. What we did is we made adjustments using our method today. Okay. And we were able to leverage the thing that mattered. And I thought, gosh, if I can figure this out, think of what I'm going to be able to give. This is cool. This is cool. Okay. So the second thing that I am really, really sick and tired of, okay, and how I discovered this is, so I'm first sad when people can't make money in business, and I'm here to help that. Okay. But second is when they do try to make money, they use marketing that is super high pressure and dishonest. And the way that we solve both of these things is something I like to call leverage. Okay. Leverage of leverage. Everybody say leverage in the comments, because that is the name of the game today. Okay. So if you are in the Not a Marketer, I was there and I was like, I'm going to figure out marketing. So I listened to a really great marketer. His name's Tony Robbins. And he says, one of the things I'm best at is modeling. I find someone who is best at something I want to learn, then I model them, I learn it myself. Then when I've proven it to myself, I teach it to others. So I thought, oh, I can model, like I can copy and paste. So I was such a good student. I bought all the things of marketing. Like I bought the video sales letter scripts. I did the storytelling workshops. I did the email scripts. I did sales page templates. I did webinar frameworks. I literally copied in my base, pasted like all these business books are over here. Okay. Like I copied and pasted all these strategies and put it in my business. And you know what's hysterical about that? I actually did the marketing. Like I went out there and I taught webinars and I had people in the room and I like did the whole framework and copied and pasted and did all this kind of stuff. And it was like this. Okay. It was so insanely inconsistent. Okay. And this kind of arcade game, unless you've got Mark Rober on your side, we're huge Mark Rober fans. I had to put him in here. He would be considered leverage. I could not figure out how to make this work. So I'm going to skip ahead to this. We think that we need to do what I so tastefully call bro marketing. We think that marketing needs to be flashy and neon and like insane graphics and like a dog head here and like as seen on TV and all this kind of stuff. This is not leverage. This kind of marketing, not leverage. It's not. This kind of marketing is not leverage. Pop-ups, ad blocks, wait 5 seconds, click, get free money, skip whatever this is also not leverage. Okay. And certainly, and with my spicy voice today, because this drives me nuts because it happened to me this morning, do not do this kind of marketing. Do not spam people in their DMs. Okay. Do not spam threads and say, I'm making $800 an hour and you should sign up too, and giving them a URL that spams them. Don't do it. And certainly don't buy followers. Don't do it. This is not leverage. This is not what we're talking about, right? So I decided to copy and paste the bro marketing strategies. And I did this over and over again. These are examples of all of the different attempts that I made at marketing. And guess what? Some of them were amazing and some of them were a disaster. So again, I don't have time. I'm tired. I need to 2x faster than anybody else. Leverage, 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 leverage. That's what everybody's saying in the comments. It was way too inconsistent. Okay. It was like the little crane game that like is the death trap, the torture trap. I felt like I was in the middle of a torture trap. That's what I thought. So why wasn't it working? So I started to say things like this. Oh my gosh, it's the economy. Yep, I'm going to quit. It's the economy. Okay, well, maybe I'm super annoying. And then I was like, oh, that's not going to change. I'll just move on. Okay. Well, like, am I dumb? Like, do I not understand? Do I not understand what I am being taught? Because I am legit copying and pasting what they are doing and it's not working. Okay. Like, am I dumb? What am I missing? Okay. Is my product bad? Okay. It's my branding. I need a new logo. I need new colors. Okay. Am I emailing at the wrong time of day? I mean, these were the kind of thoughts that were coming out to me as I was trying to blame it and say, these are all these things that are impacting me. And then this changed everything. Okay. The New York Times. Gender is the biggest force at play when it comes to how one views the world, politics, religion, and ultimately purchase decisions. And you're like, wait, what? You probably thought you like went into a different training or webinar. You didn't. Okay. Like I was reading the New York Times and I couldn't believe I was reading the political section and it was saying that gender is the biggest force at play when it comes to purchase decisions. Then I saw another article come up about how gender differences come into play in how we respond to business messages. Now, hugely important interruption right here. This event is not about politics. We're using the word gender. Okay. This is not about politics. This is not about religion. This is not about feminism. This is not about man hating. This is about marketing. Okay. We're having a discussion about marketing. If you can give me an amen, stay with me. I think it's super important we understand we are just talking about marketing. Got it? Give me an amen. There we go. Back to our program. Okay. So I read the New York Times and I thought, okay, gender's the biggest force at play when it comes to purchase decisions. Bloomberg is telling me, huge data place. Okay. 85% of consumer purchases are made or influenced by women. Okay. Then what? How would my marketing look different when everything I've learned is from dudes in marketing if I leaned into the fact instead of ignored the fact that they were women? And I thought, what does that mean? Does that mean things need to be pink? Does that mean my fonts need to be really curly? Does that mean the face of my business needs to be female? Does that mean I have to have one marketing plan for men, one marketing plan for women? Okay, well, like, what does that actually look like? So I started to observe. So I went into a room, 5,000 entrepreneurs, the room where it happens, so to speak, okay, with the most brilliant sales and marketing. And here's what I discovered. When I was being taught about marketing from these incredible male marketers who have changed my life in great ways, by the way, okay, this is not a man-hating session. They're amazing, okay? Nearly every single speaker on that stage about marketing talked about the hero's journey. Okay. There is a standard framework or playbook for all of marketing, and it's called hero-based marketing. Like if you were to Google, this is what you'd see. Okay. There's a book about it. It tells you how to use it in marketing and what it looks like. And it's been hugely popular. And in fact, it's been the Bible when it comes to understanding how to help a customer cheer for your business, be part of your business, and be loyal to your business. Okay. If you are a fan of Harry Potter, any Harry Potter fans? Okay. Tell me what your house is if you're here. I'm a Gryffindor. Yay. If you are a fan of Harry Potter, you have been influenced by the hero's journey. The hero's journey always has a hero. It has a guide. It has a conflict. It has a journey of there's a victory. The world is saved. So Harry Potter, Dumbledore's the guide. Voldemort's the conflict. The journey is Hogwarts and Horcruxes. The victory is Harry defeats Voldemort. I hope I didn't spoil that for anybody. And the world is saved. Here's another hero. If you have ever cheered for Luke Skywalker, even though he whines all the time in the very first video, okay? I just called it a video. Oh my gosh, I'm old. Okay. The hero is Luke Skywalker, right? The guide is Obi-Wan Kenobi and then Yoda. The conflict is the Empire. Is this making sense? If you have felt loyal to Star Wars, it is because it is built around the hero's journey. Okay. Lord of the Rings. It's a Christmas movie. It's got elves in it. Yes, we watch it every Christmas. This is Frodo Baggins, the hero. If you have ever cheered for him and loved Gandalf and gasped when Gandalf falls into the depths with the demon, you have cheered for the hero because you have been impacted by the hero's journey. So in the world of marketing, here's what it looks like. There's a hero who has a problem, who meets a guide, which is you and your business, who offers a solution, who invites them to act. You're saying, buy my product. And then you give them a result. And it says, when you get that result, here's what your life will look like with it. Here's what it looks like without it. Okay. That's a very general thing. We're not going to go into a lot of depth. But then I thought a little bit about, wait a minute, if gender is the biggest force at play when it comes to purchase decisions, what about her? What about her? Because I tell you what, women are just really different. Are you sitting with that? What about her? If you're marketing, if you've been doing everything you've been taught in marketing and it's not working and your clients are women, what about her? What changes when the client is a woman? I was frustrated, so I got to work. And did you know that there is a female version of the hero's journey? And it hasn't been introduced to marketing anywhere that I've ever seen. This is my mission, you guys. This is why your marketing isn't working. Okay. And if you're not a marketer, I wish I had started my marketing knowing this. Okay. There's a female version of the hero's journey, and it is significantly different. And this is what it looks like. Okay. So we're going to go through this, and then I'm going to help you build your marketing plan based on the things that are significantly different with the Victress journey versus the hero journey. I call it the Victress journey. That's why my business is called Victress Global. It is based upon the Victress. Okay. So here's what it looks like. There is always a hero. There is always a Victress. These are the same. Okay. There's always some sort of lead character in it. Okay. The next thing that happens to the Victress is that there is a problem. They're faced with a problem. Well, Frodo has a pretty big problem, and he is asked to take the ring to Mordor. Okay. The problem is the ring. Okay. The problem with Moana is that she feels called to the ocean, but more importantly, her island is dying. Okay. My island is dying. So that is when the Victress or the hero gets asked to actually take upon the calling and solve the problem. But here's where it is significantly different. And if this is not acknowledged in your marketing, your business will not grow with women. Okay. This is largely swept under the rug. This is totally ignored. In fact, it's largely made fun of when it comes in bro marketing. Let me show you the example. Okay. When that hero is like, do you want to take the ring to Mordor? I think you're the one. Gandalf's like, you should do this. This is what Frodo's response is. He says, I will take the ring to Mordor, though I do not know the way. Okay. He's like a little teeny hobbit with hairy feet. And his response is, I will take it. I will take it. I will go, but I don't know how to way. So who's going to help me? Right? Who's that guide? Who's going to take me? The Victress, however, is thrown into a scenario where she doesn't feel like it's okay for her to pursue the solution to the problem. Okay. So if you're in a position where you're trying to grow a business and, like, heaven forbid, you want to make money and you've struggled to do it, you are stuck here. You don't think it's okay for you, maybe as a woman, to be making money to bring into the house. Okay. Does that make sense? Like identity crisis. And the example with Moana is she's like, I want to solve the problem. But during this song, she's literally singing about it. She's talking about, I'm going to be the chief of my island. That's what I've been called to do. I'm going to find my place here. And then immediately it cuts over and she's like, what's wrong with me? I feel called to the ocean. Like, that's what I want to be doing. My grandma says it's okay, but everybody thinks my grandma's crazy. What should I do? And she goes through this just really jostling experience, okay, in which she's just not sure whether it's okay for her to go, okay, whether it's okay for her to go. And this is not acknowledged in bro marketing at all. Okay. Because the hero doesn't have problems with it. Okay. Men don't have a lot of issues about spending money to grow their businesses. Do you know how easy it is for me to work with men? So easy. It's like, oh, you're going to grow my business? Cool. Here's this. Let's go. Okay. I'll pay you. Let's go. But the Victress has a much more intense tangle internally that we need to address. Have you felt this? Have you actually felt this as a Victress, the identity crisis? Okay. After we address the identity crisis, we get back on board with the actual hero. They both take action. Okay. Frodo leaves the Shire. Moana gets on the boat, rock and roll. Okay. The next significantly different thing is this. In the hero's journey, he has a guide. He has Gandalf and he's like, let's rock and roll. Let's do this. He's my guide. Whereas the Victress, this shouldn't feel unfamiliar to you. Women want friends. Okay. Women want to work with someone that feels like, yeah, maybe they're one or two steps ahead of her, but they'll hold her hand through the process. Okay. She wants a friend. She wants an ally. And I'm going to show you how to market that in a minute. Okay. They both go on a journey. Frodo goes to Mordor. Moana actually goes to find Maui. That's her initial journey. And again, this is a difference in which she goes on an initial journey, but then there is a secondary journey she will go on later because she was scared of going the first one anyway. Right? I feel like God understands that sometimes that we battle with this. So he gives us like an achievable goal that like feels scary, but we can do it and we accomplish it. And then it's like, okay, now here's what this was really for. Okay. Maui is not the end for Moana. And I'm going to show you how to address this in your marketing as well. Then there is an enemy. Then there is a guide. Then there is an arrival. And it's really, really cool. So what does this mean for you in your marketing? Look, the world has largely accepted that hero marketing works for all mankind. It was created by men, which instinctively it targets men. Okay. And that's kind of a problem because she is significantly different. And you and I lost customers for an entire decade because I was ignoring it, because I was copying and pasting it. So we are going to lean into the fact that they are females and that you are most likely a female if you're here. Okay. So we have got the hero's journey that looks like this. Okay. You don't need to screenshot this, but screenshot the next one. Okay. This is the significantly different Victress journey. And what I'm going to do is show you how to plug and play each of these three significantly different things. What if I told you Palooza Events or Amanda Hansen or Raisha Bartlett or Aaron Ripoletto? What if I told you that we could solve all three of these significantly different things using the proven method of one sentence? Would you build it with me? Would you build it with me in the next 10 minutes? That's what we can do. You and I, we have a goal. Put it on scratch paper. We are going to build one sentence together. Here it goes. True or false? You sell a result. I'm going to answer this. All of marketing says that you sell a result. Okay. So because of that, we're going to say, okay, true. How we've been told in bro marketing. Okay. I like calling it bro marketing instead of hero marketing because it's just as funny to me. But we have been told, yes, you sell a result. But here's the deal. This is how we are told to sell it. Okay. We have been taught to sell the big, massive results that we have accomplished with a few of our clients. If you've ever watched weight loss ads or something like that, they are showing the extremes. This person lost 100 pounds. This person lost 200 pounds in 8 weeks. Okay. You go to business meeting. It's like everything is 10x, 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 100x, all this kind of stuff. And guess what? It works. And you're like, wait a minute, I thought you were making fun of it. I totally am making fun of it because it works short term. Why is this so different for women? Why is this so different? This is why. When you market using extreme results, she will buy once from you. Yes, I'm going to lose 100 pounds with her because that's what the ad said. Yes, that's what her webinar said. Yes, that's what her event said. I'm going to buy from you. And then guess what? Because it's such an extreme, rare, non-typical result, she's not going to get it. And she's going to be mad at you. She's going to think that you underdelivered, or she's going to doubt herself, and she's going to associate that doubt with your brand. Do you understand that? So not only will she only buy once from you, she will tell her friends, and her friends will never buy from you. It is not a long-term strategy with women. Women talk. They talk at the park. They talk at church. They talk at the bus stop. Like they talk at the grocery store with the lady they don't even know. Like, okay, your person that buys from you once, she will not buy twice, and her friends won't even buy once. So instead, how do we give her a win that we can actually deliver on? Well, as a business owner, you need to define a core result. A result that you can deliver to most clients over and over and over and over again. With Netflix, what's the core result? Entertainment on demand all the time. Yeah, they reach that one pretty much all the time. Okay. Well, what is the core result of this brand? 5 hours of energy. Cool. What is the core result of everybody that uses a diaper genie? Your house won't stink. Okay. What is the core result of the Adventure Challenge Couples Edition? Okay. Well, fun with your spouse. That's the core result. They can deliver that over and over and over and over and over again. What can you repeatedly provide for your clients over and over and over again? You guys, you are sitting here in an event, and I have told you what my core result is. Okay. Can you see it? 2xing revenue is my core result. Have I 10x people's revenue before? Yes. Have I 17x people's revenue before? Yes. Have I 8x people's revenue before? Yes. But can I do those things consistently? Not yet. Figuring it out. Okay. But can I consistently 2x the revenue of nearly every person I work with? Yes. That is the core result that is part of this event. Are you seeing it? I want you to see it. You're going to learn. I'm like hyper transparent about how I market. Okay. And you'll just see that. Okay. What is the core result of these things? Well, they give you an online business, Kajabi, Entreport, ClickFunnels, high level. Cool, cool, cool. Okay. So don't go into the temptation of 10x, 100 pounds, like extreme. Wow, I did this for one client out of the 95 I worked with. Don't spread that one all across social media and all across your branding. Okay. Because she'll buy from you once and she won't buy from you again. Instead, those things repel women. What is the core result that you do provide? Okay. Nail it. Screenshot this. What is the core result that you do provide? Okay, we're going to put that in our sentence. When you market using core results, she will buy again from you. And then guess what? Like she gets the 2x. Do you think I have a pretty good retention rate in my coaching practice and in my business and in my consultations? Yes. Do I 2x like most people? Yes. So not only will those people stay with you, they will buy from you again, and her friends will buy from you for their first time, because women talk. What an advantage that is. Okay. So that's what we're talking about. When you market using a core result, that is leverage. That is leverage. So in your sentence, plug it in. Okay. What is a core result? Okay. Cool, cool, cool. In the Victress journey, The core result is the win. What is the initial win that she is going to experience? The Maui experience, right? That we know is not the end game. Okay. I would love to 10x your revenue. I can't do that until I've 2x'd it with you. Okay. Like I can't. So what's the initial win that you can advertise with and use your marketing power with? Okay. All right. We've now accomplished the win. Let's now accomplish the next one. You guys remember this part? Okay. Where the victoress goes through a massive identity crisis when she is asked to go on this journey. And she's like, I want to be the chief. No, I want to go in the water. No, I'm going to be the chief. I'm going to be obedient. Okay. But I really want to go to the water. It's so fun. Oh my gosh. Okay. This kind of experience. How do we acknowledge that in marketing? And like, what does it look like? So this is a dear friend of mine, Catherine Jones. She's a brilliant marketer. I said, hey, Catherine, I was sitting here building my marketing program. And I thought, you're a genius. I want to help market your super awesome business to women. Can I help? Okay. Identity crisis, Catherine, fun. She goes, Sarah, that sounds amazing. But are you going to make everything pink and scrolly? So do you see how all of a sudden she's kind of like, oh, like that sounds really amazing, but like you're going to do something I don't want you to do. Like, I don't know if that's okay with me for my branding to be pink. Like she's having a Moana moment. Okay. All of us do this. All of us do this. So she goes through this identity crisis. How do we actually tackle that in marketing? So here's what we do. Okay. Here's what we do. This is from Finding Nemo. Any parents in the room? Do you know what I'm talking about when you see this? Okay. Because I'm going to be saying the word but like 100 times over the next 8 slides. Okay. We're going to play touch the butt. Okay. Because everybody has a but when it comes to your product. Okay. Catherine had a but about my product. She was like, but it's pink and scrolly. Okay. So with Marlon, okay, I know. I love this so much. Okay. We're going to touch the but. We're going to play a game. Just skip over this. Let's fill in the blank. Thank you, Bob Barker. Well, let's see, it says your core result is really, really cool, but like, that's so cool. You help people lose 10 pounds in a month, but I'm allergic to dairy, but it's too expensive. But does this make sense? Okay. That's super cool that you're a marriage coach, but my husband's not on board, but that's really expensive, but my schedule is really crazy and I can't be reliable. You hearing this? There's always a but. That is her identity crisis. She is saying but to your product because she is unsure about something. So your job as a marketer, I am officially declaring you a marketer today. Okay. You are on the path to becoming a marketer. This is what marketing is understanding that she has a but about your product has nothing to do with the fact whether she likes you as a human. Okay. Get over that. She has a but about your product. Okay. So we need to acknowledge that. And how do we do it? We do it through this. We say 2x your result without, and then flip the but. So let me give you some examples. And then we're going to apply it to your business. Okay. So for example, I'm going to help you 2x your revenue without a huge following, without using ads, and without sounding slimy. Does that make sense? Okay. Because she's like, yeah, I want a 2x, but like marketing slimy, but like my following is really small, but I don't want to spend money on ads. Like plug those in to the core result. Okay. Here's our examples. You want no diaper stink, but I don't want to walk to the garbage outside. Okay. Well, okay. Diaper Genie's got that, right? So their without statement is, or their leverage statement is a stink-free home without you having to go outside because they flip the but, right? You don't have to go outside. You can have a stink-free home without going outside. Cool. What about this one? Caffeine boost, that's core result, but I'm not thirsty. Okay. But I'm not thirsty. Okay. Well, that's 5-hour energy. So they're saying 5 hours of energy without you having to drink a bunch. Okay. Just drink this little teeny thing. You seeing this? Okay. Is this resonating? You starting to see it? Entrepreneurs need a business, but they're not technical. You can use any of these people. So their without statement is an online business system without you needing to be techie. Okay. Then we've got the adventure challenge. Okay. Quality time with your spouse without having to plan it. Well, that sounds like amazing, right? So now you get to build your without statement. Normally I would pause for 60 seconds, but I'm going to keep going to respect your time. Okay. There is a core result without something. That's the but. That's the but. What's the identity crisis all about? Okay. Why is she not buying your product? It's not because it's not good. You all have good products. I assume that's why you're here. Okay. Without what? Okay. So now we're going to open up the last part of the victor's journey. And I'm going to tell you what to do with the sentence in a minute. You provide, you're the ally. Oh, surprise. I provide 2xing revenue without large followings, ads, or sounding slimy. Okay. That's one of my without statements. Is this making sense? Okay. When we start to look at the victor's journey and we look at the 3 significantly different things The last part we're missing is the ally. We've talked about the win. That's the core result. We've addressed the identity crisis, which is the without statement. And then we have meet the ally, which is, guess what? It's you. You are the ally as the face of the business. So when you're up there on social media, and this is a friend of mine who's really good at this, and you're talking about the books that you've been reading, and that it's hard to say no sometimes, and you travel with your family, and you're good at yoga. This is my friend Lauren. Like, she's reading she's reading to her kids at school, and she's published a book. Like, that's someone you want to be friends with, right? Okay. You use this statement, this leverage statement of I help you do this everywhere you go. Social media, podcasts, webinars, training, sales pages, email copies, over and over and over again. You keep saying, I have this amazing statement right here. I'm just backing up. I have this amazing statement right here. I provide this core result without all the buts, right? How can I prove that that is true today on social media, on this podcast, in this email copy, on this sales page? That addresses the most powerful consumer on earth, which is women. 80% of online purchases, you guys, and we're missing the mark. We're missing the mark. Okay, so now that we've accomplished that, we now understand that the real beauty of this experience is this. If you are struggling to make money, I am so sorry. I am so incredibly sorry, because you have been totally lied to in the marketing world. Okay. You've been totally lied to that it's easy, that it's flip a switch, that, oh my gosh, you're just right on the cusp, or just keep going. Like, you've absolutely been lied to. Because if you're copying and pasting the hero stuff that you've been learning, you are missing women on 3 very, very important parts of their lives: friendship, achievable wins, and acknowledging the identity crisis that she's experiencing. If you have done marketing that is not working, and most importantly, marketing that is high pressure, dishonest, and just doesn't feel good, I am so sorry. And it doesn't have to be that way. Okay. It doesn't have to be that way, but we didn't know any better. And now we're figuring it out. Okay. You and I, we must become marketers. And this is the start, a really, really good start of you doing that. Because the reality is, you and I, we cannot give what we do not have: time, energy, money, knowledge. So if you have been frustrated like me, okay, it's not your fault that marketing has been meh for you. Okay. It also doesn't take away from the fact that it's frustrating and it's not working. Lean into being a woman and the fact that she is a woman. The win, the ally, the identity crisis, those are your leverage points in your marketing right now. This leverage statement, here's what we're going to do. We're going to keep this group open in Facebook, okay, where we are going to start assessing your without statements and giving you ideas of how to show those, how to storytell with those, what to do with those. Me and my team will both be in there until Monday evening, helping you use these leverage statements in your marketing to start generating a more like integrity filled way of doing marketing. But most importantly, this: if there's anything that you learned today, I hope you actually saw yourself in her. Okay. You are the Moana of the story. How cool is this? Okay. This is also like self-development. It's like self-awareness right here. You're actually her. If you're a female in entrepreneurship, you're her. You felt called to do something. I like to call it a spark, that thing you can't let go of over and over and over. Okay. The battle that you've had with the thoughts that made you want to stay comfortable. Okay. The identity crisis. I'm not supposed to make money. I'm not supposed to start a business. I'm supposed to do this full time, whatever it is. Okay. The thoughts that made you want to stay comfortable, the push that you got to make a decision to start. I think that's awesome. Okay. That's the action that you went on, the allies that you found. Okay. I hope I can be one of those allies with you. It's amazing. Okay. The path that you've taken to get here in this very room with a whole bunch of elite, cool people. You've gone on a journey. The next goal you're reaching for after arriving here, and the ever-present voice that attempts to stop you, and also the power or will that's brought you to conquer the darkest days. That's the guide. Because, oh, what does it look like for a world to be filled with entrepreneurs who are honest, who are driven, who are decision makers? What happens to families with women and moms that are fulfilled, that are working towards something, that are learning, that are failing, that are trying, that are succeeding, that have friendship, that are just trying to impact the world using their specific gifts and talents? Like, that's what this is all about. That's how we impact the world. If you felt that push, I'm ready. I need this. I need to do marketing a different way, and I want to get started. Here's how you book a call. Okay. My phone has already buzzed, so I know some of you have already booked a call from the beginning. Okay. This is where you want to be. I don't care if your business is up and running yet. Okay. I want to help you get started or get pivoted or help you know where to go next. If you decide to wait to book a call with me, guess what? Bro Marketing would tell you, I'm going to tell you that the price is going to triple and that all the seats are going to be gone. And that's what I would say. And guess what? The timing really matters. Okay. I hope that this has really been helpful and that it's blown your mind, honestly. I hope you feel like I delivered for you today. But most importantly, let's start that 20-minute conversation when you feel ready. Okay. When you feel ready. Okay. This is the end right here. I am so grateful for the experience in which I've had to sit here and talk with you and work with you and meet you and talk through how bro marketing is no longer serving you. Thank you so much for being here live, especially for those of you who are booking calls right now. I'm super excited to meet you face to face. Let's keep the discussion happening in the Facebook group, and I'll see you guys all on the other side. You're amazing. We'll see you later.